Hi, I'm Ryan Szymanski, curator for Battleship New Jersey Museum and Memorial. And today we've got another video for you about the parts that we got during open houses. Last night, if you're watching this video the day it comes out, last night we released a video on the most important measurement on the battleship. And in that video, we talked about some of the stuff that we were able to take off of the inactive ships at the former Philadelphia Navy Yard. And one of the main questions we got after last night's video is, why on earth was all of that stuff still there for us to take? So, first off, there's going to be some remedial information in this video. If you watched last night's video, skip ahead a couple of minutes. But for those of you who didn't watch it, about once a year, NAVSEA, Naval Sea Systems Command, that maintains the inactive ships and also is one of the organizations in charge of transferring ships to museums, they open up their inactive ships for museum ships to come on and recover parts. I say this happens about once a year. Realistically, it is when they have ships that are about to leave. Often this is final disposal. They're going to be scrapped, they're going to be sink-axed. Sometimes they're going to be taken to be turned into a museum, but if that's the case, we're not allowed to take parts off of. But they let us recover parts because for Battleship New Jersey, for instance, 1991 when the ship is decommissioned, and 1999, 2000-ish, when they were going to transfer her to the museum, which finally happens in 2001, the ship was available for other ships to come and take parts off of. So when we got Battleship New Jersey, she was incomplete. Some of the parts had been taken off as part of the mothballing process. Hey, this is something that's still contemporary, the drone control radar dome. We're going to take this off of New Jersey and put it on another ship. Some of it was things that get stripped off because they are being taken as spare parts for other vessels. And then some of it is stuff that we've just lost over our time as a museum. Not too long ago, we got one of these phone receivers mailed back. Somebody had cut it off and stuck it in their shirt as a souvenir and then decided to send it back to the museum. So when we go on these open houses, we're trying to find those sorts of parts that are missing to build up a big spare of things that are the common things that people take off the wall, and to fill in brackets and things that are missing because they were removed by the Navy for various reasons. Right now, I am in one of the berthing spaces, and this space is what we use as storage for all these parts, which is why you can see all this junk piled around me. This is all stuff that we've removed from inactive ships over the years, usually with an intent to put it out, and we're still in the process of getting it out into spaces, or maybe the space that we grabbed this for is not on the top of our list of spaces to be restored, so we haven't quite gotten around to using it yet. During World War II, this space was steward's berthing, and then for the rest of the ship's career, it was A-gang berthing, or the auxiliary engineering division, like the folks who would have operated the machine shop and the auxiliary diesels and the refrigerators and those sorts of things, the non-engine room engineering equipment, so to speak. Because it's down on the third deck, it's not on the normal tour route, and so there's other berthing spaces on the tour route. So this one, the bunks make perfect shelves, is where we store all the spare parts. And so we've been collecting parts for about the last 20 years. One of the main reasons why Camden was chosen as the final home of Battleship New Jersey was because of the proximity to the Philadelphia Navy Yard. That means a proximity to former sailors and tradesmen who used to work there, who have the expertise it takes to maintain the ship. And part of it is the access to those ships. Because we're so close, we have a much easier time of going over and getting parts off, which has contributed to Battleship New Jersey being, in my opinion, one of the best restored museum ships. If you want to come and visit a museum ship that is less a museum with exhibits everywhere and more it looks like the crew just walked off and you're getting this secret behind the scenes experience. I think New Jersey does one of the best jobs out there. There are a couple of other ships that do a better job, and some that are on the same level as us, but that's what New Jersey aspires to be, and by being able to go on these strip trips, we're able to do that. So, finally, I think we're at the point of the actual question, why is this stuff still on these Navy ships? Quite simply, because it's more expensive to pay a group of professionals to remove all these parts than it is to just scrap the ship, get the scrap value back, and then buy those parts again. Many of the parts used on board, not all, but many of the parts for a ship is left on board when it's put in mothballs. When a ship is put into mothballs, like the ships at the reserve base and at the Philadelphia Navy Yard are, a lot of their original parts are left on board. This is because, much like New Jersey was on several different occasions, these ships can be returned to active service. They are our ready reserve. Within a couple of months to a year, they can be returned to active service. So you don't want to take all the parts off. When it is determined that that ship is now surplus to the Navy's needs, they don't need the ships that we were on, then they open them up to the active Navy to take parts off of, and the active Navy gets everything that they need as spare parts. And this is like sailors from active ships going on and being like, hey, it's really hard for us to get the parts for this radar system, so we're going to gut the ones that are on there. Then foreign navies get to come in and do the same thing, and then finally museum ships get to come and strip pieces. So these parts are all still there because they're not needed as spares on any Navy ships. Now, in theory, you could pay a group of tradespeople to come in and like strip all the furnishings out of a space and break it down and then ship it to a shipyard. Remember, we aren't building any ships, any Navy ships here at Philadelphia. I guess we're shipping them 6 hours south to Newport News. In some cases, these are still up-to-date modern bunks. In some cases, it's stuff that is not being used on modern ships anymore. There is a more modern system. But the Navy determines that it's just cheaper to sell it for scrap and get the scrap value back than it is to pay people to come up here, take it apart, move it down, and then it's also able to support ships like museum ships or ships like the active fleet that needs these spare parts. There is a cost associated with having these ships open, because obviously they can't just throw the doors open and let us go in and run around. So they have to have staff there making sure that things are safe. They have to have both babysitters there to watch us and some of the more technically proficient staff like electricians to be able to certify, yeah, you want this electrical box, let me verify that there's no power to it before you try and cut that cable and take the thing. Or, hey, that's actually controlling the lights in this space, which we need to be able to maintain the ship, so you can't take that one, but there's another one over here that you can take. So even this has a cost associated with it for the Navy, which is why they give us a set period of time that we're able to be on board. By the time we get to the ships, a lot of the portable stuff, damage control equipment, and the spare parts that are in the tool issue rooms and things like that are already gone. Those have been grabbed previously. A lot of what we got on this trip was furniture and stuff like that. The ships that got to go ahead of us in order, active Navy or foreign ships, already are fully outfitted. They've got all their furniture. But some of the spaces that were gutted on this ship are missing the furniture. So we were able to disassemble that and bring it back on board. Other things like the 50 cal tripods, again, an active ship already has their allotment of those. They've got enough tripods for the number of guns that they have. We were missing ours, so we were able to grab them. So yes, a lot of the valuable equipment is removed and reused off of these ships before they're sold for scrap, but not all of it. And that helps support museum ship. that helps keep these ships in a position that they can be reactivated. It helps support Big Navy, and it helps support our allies and museum ships. Do you have any questions about open houses or the types of parts that we grabbed? Let us know in the comment section down below. Be sure to go back and watch our earlier video from earlier this month, linked in the description below, to see what sort of parts that we're looking for this year and what's on our wish list. We've already been able to cross some of those things off, but if you watch something in that video and know how to get it, definitely reach out at the comment section down below. Battleship New Jersey receives operating support from the New Jersey Department of State, also from a number of other businesses and private individuals like yourselves. We appreciate the support, and you can support us by clicking on the link in the description below to donate towards the ongoing restoration of Battleship New Jersey. You can also support us by liking, sharing, and subscribing so more people find about the museum and our channel. Thanks for watching.